Buckle up, crew. It's going to be a bumpy ride. That's what I told you yesterday. And today we're going to be diving deep into what's going on in the marketplace and exactly how we could capitalize on it. We're going to make you a member of the SEAL Team 6 trading community and all of Bitcoin and Ethereum and every other damn altcoin that is out there. So make sure you get the beverage of your choice. We're going to have a great time today, and we're going to really dive in and really explain like what's going on. After smashing a fresh all-time high, Bitcoin did take a sharp turn lower. Our buddy Scott Bessant didn't really say something really nice on Fox that caught a lot of people's attention, but it's a total knee-jerk reaction, and we're going to be getting into that in a moment. But before you panic, let me tell you that Ethereum is really on its way, and it's about to steal the show, and why altcoins are quietly setting up for one of the biggest runs that we have ever seen. So welcome back, Crypto Coach. Your boy Tom here, bringing you the hottest in Bitcoin and crypto action. Make sure if you like what you see, you give us a like and you give us a subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure that you come on over to X and follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin and crypto all day, every day. All right, let's get right into it, okay? First thing we're going to show you is that we still have our trade running on WeX, the broker of our choice. This is Justin's Bitcoin trade. If you're new to the channel, I'll take you over to WeX right now so you could see the trade. WeX, the broker of our choice, low fees, fast execution. Average entry price 117,000. Right now trading at 118,106. Not able to get over that 121,000 yet. ROI right now 9.45%. No panic, no jumping positions, just holding sight, because we talked about the discount levels yesterday. And I want to just show you chart number 2 that I got for you guys right here, where we talk about the CME market gap been fully filled. We said that we had to get to around 117.1. We came very, very close to it. I would actually call this gap actually filled. Now, on top of this, we saw 100 billion in leverage positions liquidated, which helped push Bitcoin to fill the CME market gap. Yet Bitcoin held the line, okay? This is the most important thing you have to look at. After all the turbulence yesterday from Scott Bessant saying that we weren't going to purchase, the U.S. government wasn't going to purchase any Bitcoin. Market really, he said this before, and we're going to get into that deeply in a moment, and we're going to actually make you the smartest traders in the bar. So make sure you stick around for the full video. It's going to be really, really fun, and we're going to really be taking apart exactly what Bessant said, okay? Because he said it before, but the market just knee-jerk react off of one small statement that he made off of Fox News, and then there was everybody, you know, the crypto X maniacs, were, oh, Bitcoin's going down. You know, I looked at that and I said, the man has said this before, and we're going to get into it. All right, so we briefly dropped below 118. Bitcoin held the line. Now, it filled the gap. So in past cycles, when we fill the gap, this marked the last cheap entry before liftoff. Still believe it's the same, okay? Shakeouts are where smart money builds. They don't exit there, okay? Buy the fear or watch the rally without a ticket, okay? Now, we talked about the discount levels yesterday. I'm going to take you over and show you what we said yesterday. We said discount. We would be buying 117,500. We'd be buying Ethereum at 4,200 for sure. Okay, if it ever got down to 113, it's a sheer gift. Okay, in my opinion. All right, in my opinion. If you look at the Ethereum chart with all the rage and manic, crazy selling off of Bitcoin, Ethereum held. Ethereum held. Why? Because there's huge institutional demand. You didn't even get a chance really to scoop Ethereum lower. Now, is it potential? Of course, anything is possible. But let's go over to the short-term trading, the 2-hour chart that I like to use. All right, so this was the level that we said had to hold. We did sneak down through. We broke down through it. I said yesterday I don't like that we did come down through this. We could test lower, which we did test lower. So now the new line in the sand for Bitcoin on the short term, this is just a 2-hour chart, okay, is sitting right around I'm going to go 116,970. Okay, well, why 116,970? Why? I'm really look at this structure right here, and if I look at this candle, the takeoff candle, this candle would be what is considered a breakaway bar. So on a 2-hour chart, that was the breakaway bar. That was the one that led to the rally. So that's an important candle. Actually, could go down to the bottom of the candle, but I'll just stick right around 16,970. Okay, you give me a little leeway if we drop down to like 16.6. All right, fine. Give me some leeway. But really, what we're looking for right now is, we said yesterday that there was going to be some turbulence after the top was made right here, and boy did we get the turbulence, and Scott Bessant added to this turbulence. Now, in order for this marketplace to start to really move back up, the first level it's got to get through is obviously the 119. Okay, so we got to get through 119. Now, if we could get through 119, it's not off to the races yet, because we still got a lot of guys and gals that got caught, up at the up. They bought the breakout as usual, late, fear of missing out, of catching the top. They just wanted to get involved. And look, if you're a holder, you don't care. All right, because we know where the coin's going in the long term. But short-term trading, if you're a short-term trader and you're a day trader like myself, you like to watch these little movements in order to capture some really great gains. And if you scooped, in our discount zone that we talked about yesterday, in Bitcoin itself, you would have had a decent gain, a short-term daily gain, and then that is, not bad. All right. So right now, as it stands, the meridian is sitting right at 118. If we pop down through this low, we could drift lower to the 116.9, potentially even down to 116.4. But I'm thinking it's going to hold the line right here. Resistance to get through 119.2 on the short term, and then we're going to have the upper tine right here at 120. And of course, the 121 figure that we have to get through and actually start trading back higher. So it's going to be a lot of chop. I think there's going to be a lot of chop, let's say, in between this point and the 119. It's going to do something like this today. It's not really, I don't think it's dumping out. I still think that by the dip type of scenario, we're not losing our idea there. So now we're going to get into the good stuff to make you a Crypto SEAL Team 6 member. The pullback came after hotter than expected U.S. producer price index data. I wrote that. I thought about it. I said, yeah, that's could be one of the reasons. But we all know that the Fed chair is going to be on the way out. So I think that's kind of like just already priced in. So now, what really affected us was comments from the U.S. Treasury ruling out Bitcoin new buys. But that's not what he said. Bessant sent the market into a 2% drop, if you want to blame the guy for it. We said yesterday we have an all-time new high. So obviously there's going to be a lot of profit taking. But by him saying that, so we'll give him the blame. He caused the market to into a 2% drop. In one way, this is very positive, as Bitcoin has been known for a 30% delta. Okay, so if the market was really, really going to go into a bearish tone, it would have dropped a good 25, 30%, because it's been known to do that, but it didn't. So right now we are in, a coiling again in Bitcoin. It's always, this is always, as a short-term trader, you just got to pick your points and you got to pick your battles. You got to, be very, very nimble with the marketplace because we're not really in a full bull run again yet. Made the high. Now, I know we're going to have the naysayers on the YouTube, oh, it's over for Bitcoin. I mean, okay, always. Said it was over, at 112, re-rallied to 124. It's still over. Okay, yeah, I know, I get it. One day you're going to be right. One day you'll be right. Maybe when it's up at $1 million. But anyway, now he stated this before, but he left an important point out. I want to show you what he said. He said on Fox News, actually I'll report what he said on Fox News. I'm going to report her now, okay? He said, we started to get into the 21st century a Bitcoin reserve. We're not going to be buying that. Market knee-jerk reaction happens. But we are going to use confiscated assets and continue to build that up. So the marketplace took that as, all right, they're just going to steal Bitcoin from other people and use that, right? There's a couple of people that posted that. I'm going to take you over to what he truly said right here. What he said right here, oh, we got alerts going off again. Okay, hang on a second right now. Let's get that trading alert off so we can talk in peace. But what he truly said was, Bitcoin has been finally forfeited to the federal government and will be foundation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve that President Trump established in his March executive order. In addition, Treasury is committed to exploring budget-neutral pathways to acquire more Bitcoin, to expand the reserve, and to execute on the president's promise to make the United States the Bitcoin superpower of the world. Okay, he said this before. Now look at the guys on Treasury Secretary Bessent said the U.S. will not be buying any Bitcoin. They'll hold this a year because I was promised strategic. You see what I'm saying, Walker? I mean, you dig into it a little bit. Not just knee-jerk reaction. I'm not disparaging the guy. I think he was right as far as like at that point the marketplace did sell off, but the full statement wasn't made on Fox News. Okay, so on a positive note, he did say at the time, he said that the Treasury is not going to be selling any Bitcoin. Okay, so according to him, it's currently worth somewhere between 15 billion and 20 billion. And this is the ex post where he later clarified, because he realized, oh shoot, they're taking this as that we're just going to steal Bitcoin, or we're not going to be buying any Bitcoin. So we need to do a deep dive, and this is where we say we're going to make you part of the SEAL Team 6, all right? And it's going to be a little bit of information, so, take your number 2 pencil out, take some notes. You could digest this over, Saturday, Sunday. You could talk about it at the bar tonight when you're having your beer or your martini or whatever the beverage of your choice is. I want to take you over to Bitcoin versus gold, okay? Now, he's looking for a budget neutral pathway, which means the U.S. government could acquire Bitcoin without increasing the federal deficit or raising new taxes. Now, why that's such a concern for the United States, I don't know. Raising the federal deficit, I mean, we got tremendous deficit. But I could see that maybe there would be an uproar in the citizenry if he decided to raise taxes to buy Bitcoin. Okay, Ethereum. Right now, so looking at this chart, we can see technically that gold went parabolic after the breakout. Bitcoin just replicated the pattern. So technically, we got a double top, a bottom, and then boom, takeoff. So this is actually what's happening right now with Bitcoin itself. Now, we've seen this setup before, and you know how it's going to end. Bitcoin is going to explode. And, now here's some realistic examples, on how the United States can buy Bitcoin budget neutrally. Okay, this is the whole point. I want to show you gold. I want to show you Bitcoin. You got the setup. So even without my idea here, okay, or my deep dive into this, you could see that Bitcoin is going to rally. It's going to follow gold, all right? If we look at the Bitcoin money index, okay, right here, the money flow, it's got hidden bullish divergence confirmed. Every time this happened, the next move was explosive. Ignore the noise. Big money is already positioned. They're already positioned for this. Now, let's talk about how the government can do this budget neutral stuff, okay? Well, one, U.S. government could sell Treasury gold reserves and use the proceeds to buy Bitcoin. They could sell supply federal property, unused land, buildings, mineral rights, and convert it into cash to buy Bitcoin. But that is already in the works. Man, we got a very, very busy market today. That's already in the works right now. Okay. That's going to take some time, but it's already in the news. It's in the works. Okay. They could sell part of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, similar to how they tap it to stabilize oil markets and redirect funds to Bitcoin. There's absolutely no chance they're going to do that. Absolutely no chance that the United States will do that. The United States, under Biden, they did that because they wanted to try to lower the prices of gas for an election, which was very, very stupid because Trump bought that oil at like $20 a barrel in the COVID era, and they go and like dump it, like totally ridiculous. Now, Trump is refilling that reserve at much, it's like $60 a barrel or something like that. So $20 a barrel more, or $40 a barrel more. I'm sorry. So it took a big loss on that. That was really stupid. So they could also do asset swaps within the balance sheet. Swap a portion of U.S. Short-term Treasury holdings, cash equivalents already in the government portfolio for Bitcoin. Don't think they're going to do that either. Exchange foreign currency reserves like euros, yen for Bitcoin, essentially reallocating the existing reserve mix. That's a potential. You could do that. We have reserves in yen, in euro, and pounds, and all the different foreign currencies. They could do that. I don't know if they would do that because they usually need it for central bank operations to kind of cool the marketplace when the dollar is either dumping or the dollar is too hot for them. But that's a viable way. They could do it. But I'm going to focus on gold as the most viable way for the U.S. Treasury to do this. Now, the U.S. itself holds approximately 8,133 metric tons of gold. All right. Now, here's the kicker. Gold today is priced at what? 3,300, something like that. Let me look at gold. Gold, yeah, 3,336 right now. This gold that we hold, that the United States holds, is a market value of that gold is roughly $757 billion. But here's the thing. Current U.S. laws value that gold at $42.22 an ounce, a figure set in 1973. In reality, gold trades at $3,300 per ounce today. Now, if they don't even have to mark the full reserve to market. Okay, they could take whatever they want. So they could take, I don't know, 1,000 metric tons, and they can mark it to market. So instead of being, valuing at 42.22, they'd value it at 3,300 ounces. That will open up a tremendous amount of capital. So if the Treasury revalues a portion of all its gold holdings to reflect current market prices, it effectively unlocks hundreds of billions in capital without issuing new debt or raising taxes. Issuing gold-backed certificates, if they do that, the Treasury could then issue paper certificates or credits backed by this newly valued gold. These certificates could be used to purchase Bitcoin directly, reallocating part of the asset base without requiring additional taxpayer funding. I think this is the way they're going to go at it. Now, this is not my strategy, okay? I've been reading about it, and this is precisely the strategy proposed by Senator Cynthia Lummis that we talked about way, way back, suggesting that by revaluing the U.S. gold reserve, the Treasury could cash a check and buy up to 1 million Bitcoin, an idea that keeps the entire transaction budget neutral. So I think this is the way Besant is going to go about this. So how would it be done? First step, reevaluation, adjust gold reserves from a valuation of 42 to 3,300. You don't need, the thing with the government is they don't really have to follow the same rules, right? I mean, when I was in a bank, we had to mark the market at 3:00 every day. So in other words, 3:00 was when the back office would come in, and they would look and go, what's dollar yen? What's sterling dollar? What's at the time it was Deutschmark and euro, then euro dollar. What's the price? And they would write that price down. They would write the midpoint down. Then they would go and they would look at all our positions and then reevaluate what we were doing based off of the close at 3 o'clock. U.S. government hasn't remarked their gold since 1972. So really, like I said, they don't have to really follow the rules. They could mark the market instead of at 3,300. They could put gold up, at 2,500. They don't have to, mark to market, which would still be good. Which also give them a base to like say, okay, we're long at 2,200, gold's 33. Then we could do the swap then. So there's a lot of different things that they can do here. So first thing, adjust gold's valuation from $42 an ounce to 3,300 or 2,200, 2,500. Asset allocation. Use newly recognized value as the funding source itself. Buy Bitcoin using certificates backed by revalued gold. What would happen is there would be no budget impact, no increase in debt, no tax hikes, purely rebalancing existing assets. So we got a couple of things in the works. We got them selling off land and mineral rights. That's already in the works. And now we have the idea that we could actually use gold. Okay, so technically, Bitcoin is still in the game. There's nothing wrong with Bitcoin. Like we showed you the money flow index. I'm going to show you Wyckoff. Okay, Wyckoff itself. Wyckoff, the spring is complete. The jump across the creek is in motion. LPS is forming exactly where it should. It's a textbook setup. Phase E targets 128 to 130. The market's giving you the roadmap. Now, all the noise that you're following in the background, just forget about the noise. I gave you, a good understanding of what's happening. You should be able to talk really deeply with your friends at the bar about how, the United States can actually buy Bitcoin in a budget neutral scenario. Man, are you going to be like a hero tonight if you get that down. But anyway, the market's giving you a roadmap. All that's left is to execute longer term. Okay, is to execute. Okay, now if I look at longer term, we're looking at a Bitcoin parabolic movement. Okay, the curve is near its end game. The end game's around 150. We're thinking before we get a retrace. All right, now all that's left is really is base 4 that's already in the books. It's already happened. It's the last stage before a vertical liftoff is here. It's the same structure that marked every cycle peak. The difference, this one's bigger. So we're just basically giving you, we're getting ahead of our skis. We're saying that when we get up to 150, 160,000, get ready to take some good profits because we're going to get a retrace probably back down to like 125, 119,000. But, again, it's just a reminder to take profits, not screenshots. All right. So let's get into Ethereum because Ethereum is really the one that's stealing the show. As I said, Ethereum itself, with all the noise that happened, Ethereum really didn't dump. Now, Ethereum in the past would have been the one that really took the nosedive. And it didn't. It held tight. So Ethereum is actually holding strong right now at 4,555, just shy of the 2021 all-time high of 4,880, 4,900. We gave you the roadmap. We said 1,500. Was a gift. 2,200 was broken. 4,000 was broken. We told you in the past we were going to get some resistance up at like 4,800 with a possible dip back down. If we come back over to this chart right here, we're at a discount level at 4,200. It didn't happen. Ethereum really held up strong. So Ethereum is really the star of the crypto show right now. We're going to get into XRP at the end because I got the XRP army, so I want to make sure I hit them up with some news so they can actually look at the charts. Really, nothing's changed much in XRP, but the roadmap here right now on Ethereum is actually showing that it's a 10,000 target, $10,000 target. Now, why is that? Well, we've said it before. Ethereum is becoming infrastructure. All right, it's no longer a peripheral coin. It's really part of infrastructure right now. Institutional demand is red hot for Ethereum. Standard Charter just hiked its 2025 Ethereum price target by the end of the year to 7,500. I think they're a little short. We're thinking, all right, yeah, you know what? I would say by the end of the year, Okay, 8,000, 7,500. I would agree with that, but I would think slightly higher once this thing really gets in motion. If we look at Ethereum and we have to go back to the past, because the past is always prologue, right? Ethereum is running a 2017 playbook. Breakout after reclaiming the 50 MA, then vertical move. We've seen this before, and it ends one way. This time, fuel comes from ETFs, institutions, and a market starved for Ethereum. You either buy the setup now or you're going to chase it at 10,000. Okay, because like we told you, if we come back to this chart right here, we're still bullish on Ethereum. I mean, right here was the discount levels. The market didn't move. Okay, it didn't move. So if the market makers do dump price to run liquidity, these are our reload levels for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, we're still very bullish on both of these coins, and we're thinking that we got some over leveraged traders got shaken out already. A lot of them probably rebought again on leverage on that slight movement up because of revenge trading. And of course, I don't know that for sure, but I know traders. And a lot of them will do that. They're angry. Oh, I'm buying this thing's back. They get all angry at the marketplace and they get over leveraged again. And then the market takes one final dip down or wipes them out. And they sit scratching their head going, I just lost X amount. And I don't really like it. And then they go away. They don't come back anymore for a while till they get their. Just on a brief note, there are two types of capital in trading. Okay, you got your cash, which is always important, but you have emotional capital. Emotional capital is more important than cash. When you beat yourself up, like when you just overtrade, over leverage, lose. Okay, it's very, very hard to get your emotional capital back because you don't trust yourself. You said you wouldn't do it again and you did it again. And then you said you wouldn't do it again and you did it again. You begin not to trust yourself. Once you lose trust in yourself, no system or any type of trade, is going to help you. So that's just a side note. So emotional capital is much more important than capital itself. You can always put money back in. You can't, always recover from an emotional devastation of a major loss that that you shouldn't have taken. So smart money is always going to buy the dip. Shakeouts make millionaires. If you're buying while they're selling, you got a good chance of making a lot of money with a very, very small amount of risk. So if we come on over to this chart in Ethereum, what we're looking at in Ethereum is the macro channel is alive and well. 2017 bottom, then rally to the top. All right, 2020, we got the top. Okay, I'm sorry, we got a bottom right here, 2020. We got a bottom, then a top. Is that 2020? Yeah, that's it right there. 20 to the top. Okay. Same thing is happening right now. 2025. We had the bottom. Okay. Next stop is the channel top. Look where that channel top is, 25,000. Okay. So Ethereum is also the engine that's brewing altcoin season. So Bitcoin dominance has dropped. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Here's our Wall Street cheat sheet that we talked to you about. We're still right here. We haven't hit the panic, the shite everyone's selling. I need to get out yet, but it's on its way. Bitcoin dominance is sitting, if we look right here, bearish monthly engulfing candle, bearish cross. It's happening. Okay. Bitcoin dominance sitting at 59.55 right now. It's up slightly from yesterday. No big deal. But, we got that bearish monthly candle that is staring everybody in the face, and that's showing down. Okay. If we come on over to total altcoin season, right here, altcoin season itself. Okay. We got Bitcoin crossing a trend line. Great. Last time we saw this breakout, alts went 50 to 100x. Same setup, same energy, same breakout energy. The difference now, we're playing with trillions. The monster breakup candle is coming. You either position now or you watch from the sidelines. Now, we got some early movers already breaking out. You got Sui is flirting with an all-time high near 7, while projects like Block, DAG, Ton, and WorldCoin are pushing fresh investor attention. Coinbase data shows the altcoin market cap is up 50% since July started. A huge signal that money is rotating out of Bitcoin into higher beta plays. Now, if momentum holds, we could be staring down one of the biggest alt runs in the years. Sorry. Before we wrap up, I've got to make sure you're well aware of our trading community. I'm going to show you right here. You click this link right there. You'll be taken over to this Telegram site where you can join up. You can actually follow our trades here. Okay, so we got some videos in there on how to trade, how to spot, good institutional levels. A lot of stuff going on in the free community. We drop insane alpha trading opportunities from breakout setups, long-term gems. We got you covered. You want to follow our trades on our trusted broker. You click this link right here. You'll be taken over to WeX, the broker of our choice. Low fees, fast execution, everything you can want in a broker. All right, so let's finish up. Let's finish up with good old XRP. Okay, let's move on over to XRP. And the same levels are still there. Okay, so XRP, let's open this up for the XRP army. It's actually trading between $3 and at 315 level. In order for XRP really to show it's sitting right now on this meridian time, a breakthrough 3 is not good. Actually, well, for short-term traders, if you're long, it's not good. But long-term trader, like it would be kind of a gift. It could drift us back down to say 285 if that's possible. That'd be a great place to scoop XRP, in my humble opinion. But right now, as it stands, we got to get above 315, hold above 315, and then get through that 323. Okay, 323. So the resistance right now is 323, and of course up at 343. We're going to be chopping around a little bit, so just hang tight. Long-term XRP, I believe, is going to $5. That's just me. So 3 is the psychological level that has to hold. A break above 315 is a positive sign to attempt to get above 323. And then eventually try to attack to 341. I do believe that we're going to be stuck in some chop in XRP between 3 and like 315 for now. Right now, I think it's going to be this. Okay, if Ethereum decides to take really off hard again, okay, we could see a break up through the 315 and potentially get above the 323 and start trading in between the two resistance zones. That's what I see happening. I think it's kind of going to be quiet today. Kind of going to be quiet today. All right, so that's it, crew. Thanks for sticking with me. I know it was a little bit longer one, but hey, I think I gave you some really good information. So what we got going on in Bitcoin? Bitcoin, well, fill the CME gap. It's cooling off a bit. Ethereum itself, well, Ethereum is heating up, and altcoins are waking up from hibernation. Next few weeks are going to be wild, so stay sharp, manage your risk, get into the live streams. We got one coming up tomorrow, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You're not going to want to miss that. Come on over and follow us on X, where we talk about Bitcoin and crypto all day, every day. All right, so you got to be ready to move when the market moves, okay? Don't try to predict the market, just follow the market. Ride the bucking bronco. So what do you got to do? Well, you got to join our free communities, okay? You got to get in on a live stream tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And as a short-term trader, you got to enjoy the party, but dance near the door. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Stay nimble, stay positive, follow the plan, and trade well. Cheers.